You better watch out. You better not cry. But you're probably going to want to if you watch this movie. We watched Christmas Sleigh. We watched it so you don't have to. So you know what that means.
Horror, so bad and scary. Splitting up is never okay. Plot, who needs it? Don't turn on the lights. Cars don't ever start, but that's alright. Running upstairs instead of out the door. Good acting, what do we need that for? Horrible horror, so bad and scary. Enjoy the show, but not really.
Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the next episode of Horrible Horror, the podcast where we watch the worst of the worst in horror movies. Movies so bad they're scary. This is week 3 of our month-long December holiday season special where we're looking at different Christmas-themed horror movies throughout the month of December. This week we did a awful British movie called Christmas Sleigh. Now, I should have said it. You should know me by now, but if not, it's your first episode. I'm your host, Marshall Hampton. Unfortunately, with me, normally my co-host Aaron would be here, but he is off in Arizona on a job thingy that he's doing. So he will be back later. Sitting in with me this week is friends, family of the show now, Mr. and Mrs. Samples, Chris, Sarah, again, sitting in. Welcome back. Love to have you.
Thank you, sir.
Awesome.
Veterans
We're
of
so
the
happy
show.
to be so happy to be here.
Yes, this movie, that's a little spoiler. This movie is British, by the way.
It killed me too.
Which, before I even go into
It's
anything else,
awesome.
you know, they
It's
always
gonna
say
happen
like,
the whole
you
time.
know, they always say like the British actors, you know, British acting, that's like the top of the top. You know,
Right.
like, and look, like half the cast of The Walking Dead are all British, you know,
Yeah.
and they're really good. But then what happened in this movie?
I don't know.
I don't know if it's the British accents, but it just seemed like everybody was just bad.
Oh God.
Like, what happened?
They were
It
normal
was,
college students. They just picked him up off the
I guess
street.
so.
They're
Yeah,
like,
had to have
"Hey,
been.
you want to like be in a movie?
Uh-huh.
Like your
Sure.
boobs are
About-
big.
yeah,
you look
about
good.
what it
Let's
that's
do
the
it."
one like uniting factor that
Yeah.
all the girls have
It's
big
like
boobs. That's
the
about
roommate of the director, the sister, the buddy. That you know,
Uh-huh.
they're all in the movie. It's all
I
good.
think that's pretty safe bet.
Oh, right.
So Christmas Sleigh, it was actually relatively new. It was released December 10th of this year here in the United States.
Oh, wow.
So it's like brand new here, but I couldn't find the original British release date.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't find that, so I don't know how old it is over in jolly old England. But here it's practically brand new. I found it on Amazon.
That's where we watched it too.
I have no idea if you can find it somewhere else, but you can watch it on Amazon. It's got a runtime of 95 minutes, and it was written and directed by Steve Davis. The cast is nothing to write home about.
Nope.
They're a bunch of independent British actors who none of us have ever heard of, I'm sure. The only thing of note that I noticed that any of these people is that the guy who plays Simon Carter, aka Santa the Killer,
Mm-hmm.
he apparently has been working since 1984 and stuff.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
got
like,
credits all the
yeah,
way
he
back.
like has a pretty good record. It's almost like he's like, I don't know, a Camden actor from the.
I mean,
He looked
he's-
like a professional
I
wrestler.
guess
Yeah,
he does.
he
kind of
does look like a
he's
wrestler.
tall and he's
He'd make a
decently-
good cane.
He-
you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's got some bulk to him. He's
Mhm.
tall. He's elderly. I mean, not elderly, not 80 fragile, but
Right,
he's
right.
like easily in his 50s or 60s in this
Mhm.
movie.
Absolutely.
But yeah, he's got 52 credits dating back to 1984. But
Wow.
and I looked him up. Most of my guests are British television spots, so like it's
Yeah.
all British stuff that we've never heard of.
British.
And the only
British.
other person
Britain,
that might
Great
have
Britain.
some following or some recognition is Danny Thompson, who has 28 credits to her name, and she's done like a ton of, I guess, low budget horror slasher movies, whether it's in Britain or America. But that's her. Kind of,
What character did she play?
Is that Emma?
No, that
Oh.
was Becky. She's the one who like all the
Really?
girls are like 20s, and this girl looks like she's 35 compared to she's the older looking.
She had a
one.
lot of makeup on.
A lot of makeup, but ginormous boobs.
Ginormous.
But she's an actress, model.
Really? She's
Blah,
an,
blah, blah.
she was the actor? I mean, none of them were good actresses,
No.
but I wouldn't have thought that she was the one.
Yeah, she's got 28
Really?
other credits to her name.
I don't know. Now that I think about it, she
Well,
was
maybe
probably
she's-
the best of the bunch.
I
I
don't know.
guess,
That was a Girl
yeah.
Scout?
I mean,
I
yeah.
don't know.
it's rough, but
Yeah.
But she's also did what they call British.
And I didn't say it was good. I said it was the best of the bunch.
That's true. But she does what's called. They said she's posed in or been in featured in every British lad magazine. Now I don't know what that means. I don't know what a British lad.
Like Maxim or
somebody needs to
is that
Google
like
that
a British
right now.
I'm
Playboy
not
or
sure.
something? I have no idea.
Somebody out there answer that for us.
Yeah,
Please
British
contact
lad
us.
magazine. So I'd assume it's British Playboy stuff, but don't know. Anyway, that's it. The rest of the cast doesn't matter at
No.
all.
No.
Never heard one. So we're gonna jump into this awful British movie. It's
So rough
Or
one.
was it good?
or was it good? Ooh, a mystery. So the movie opens with this family sitting in the living room on Christmas Eve night, and the parents are reading books, and their daughter's asleep on the couch. And first of all, the first thing I noticed, like, oh god, the guy has a man bun, but it turns out to be a ponytail. But still, I was like, oh come on.
He had a really horrendous Christmas sweater on too. Did you see that? It was blue and it had like things hanging off of it.
Right.
Like I don't know. It was
The
was
wardrobe in
Christmas
this
stuff.
movie baffles my mind. It's awful.
Yes. that is-
So
topic.
they ended up going to bed. Like, oh, let's put the door to bed. Let's go. Blah blah blah. Whatever. So in comes Simon Carter, aka the killer Santa Claus. He's dressed in his Santa suit minus the beard and the hat. He has his own beard, but it's barely a beard. It's
Right.
like
It's
scruff at most, almost.
I was wondering if he was a random drunk off the street.
He
I was
kinda
like, is
looks
that
like
just
that
like
at
a
first.
bum? Like that just like a guy that disgruntled Santa? He
Yeah.
just like came in off the street.
It's
like,
exactly
"Hey,
what it looks like.
hang out in your house.
And he comes in like kind of like he's drunk. He comes in, he's just like throwing presents around,
yeah.
and slapping the piano around.
How did they
Right.
not hear that, by the way?
Exactly.
He's like playing the piano.
And we get the impression it's not like it's been like 4 hours and they're like deep in sleep. Like they went to bed, he comes in. It's
Yeah.
like they're probably not even in the sheets yet. He's all there
Exactly.
clang, clang,
Yeah.
clang. So
Whatever could it be? That was terrible. I'm sorry. Oh, this is bad. Sorry.
So he's in the house and he cuts to these two police guys sitting in their cop car, drinking tea, of course. And they get a call from their dispatch to go check out this house because I think it's like the silent alarm gets tripped or something.
Yeah.
It's a really long scene too of
Yeah.
nothing.
There's a lot of long scenes of like just nothing happening.
And if you notice, like when he pours the tea, it's like scalding hot. Yeah, like the steam coming off the tea. I don't even know how you're like drinking this.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
guy's
that
like,
just burns.
that's
But
But that's neither
good.
here nor there.
I love
That's-
burning.
That's being a little detailed.
I love burning my taste buds on
Yeah.
keys. And
right.
They're chilling in a mini, drinking tea.
So it goes back to Simon, who is now holding a large kitchen knife, big knife, and he's standing over the sleeping parents in their bed. He's just standing over them, looking down at them. The husband, wakes up, and Simon just stabs him, kills him. It's done. So the wife now wakes up. She's like, ah! But I have no idea what these people are thinking in this movie, or what my reaction would be. And Sarah, you are a wife.
yeah.
Let's go here. So anyway, she
I
stands.
didn't know.
This is my worst nightmare, by the way.
Yeah, he kept saying that, so
Like
I
somebody
was
breaks
like,
in
"Ugh."
and kills me first, and then my wife and kids are like left to defend for themselves. You know,
So-
yeah.
Well, so this was like a silly British movie, obviously, when it started, but I
Uh-huh.
still, at this point, was like, oh, the scare factor is okay. I mean, here comes like a crazy bum off the street, and he's obviously going to kill these people.
Yeah.
And yeah, and he kept saying it's my biggest fear. And so then I'm sitting there freaking out.
So the wife wakes up and she looks right at Simon, who's standing there holding
Yeah.
a bloody knife, standing over her dead husband,
Right.
bloodied. And instead of running for the door screaming,
Well, she jumps over.
she doesn't even jump over. She sits there and starts shaking him like, "Hey, baby, wait, are you what, baby?" And Simon
Did
just
she?
looking at her, and she's looking at him. Nobody's doing anything. She's not running. I'm like, "What is happening?
Right.
Wouldn't you be running for your
Run
life?"
for the hills,
And then
bitch.
she's like,
Run.
"What
Run,
did you
bitch,
do to
run."
him?" I can't do the accent. I can't do a British accent very well. She's like, "What did you do?"
What did you do? That was that bad too. Oh, maybe by the end I'll have it.
So she finally tries to get away. She gets trapped in the corner, and Simon bends down. He like cuts her bra strap and tank top strap off, and then licks her face.
Yeah.
And then he like just grabs her head and does like this very slow like
That must be a super
puncturing
sharp
her.
knife.
Yeah, it's got to be like the world's sharpest knife. For him to impale her head this way, it's like putting a knife into like a pumpkin.
Right.
Only it's a skull, a bone, and he
Yeah,
puts it into
solid
like
bone.
butter. It's like no way this would
I
happen.
know.
And you see it kind of like wiggle when he puts it. It's definitely a flumpy knife.
Yeah.
Like really flimsy. It's like
So he
sticking it
just
down there.
Stabs her straight
What?
down the head, and then pulls the knife
Obviously
out, and the
fake.
blood goes. And splurts
Weird
everywhere.
spurting.
Did he
And
like lick the knife at that point?
no, I don't think he licks the knife. That comes later.
Oh God.
So now we go back to the police car we saw earlier. It pulls up outside of the house, and inside Simon comes face to face with the daughter. It was like,
have you got our presents?
yes. Now keep in mind, thank you, Sarah, because the girl is like 13 years old. Like she's not like a little kid.
No, she's
Yeah,
definitely
she's-
not a 5-year-old.
she's
right?
old enough to know that
Young.
Santa doesn't exist.
Right.
And
I didn't think about that, but yeah, maybe.
and even if she did think, like, I think she would be something was wrong when he's holding a bloody knife covered in blood,
blood,
and
yeah.
she's like, "Where are my presents at, yo?"
You're right.
And she's not scared at all, and he just hands her the knife and starts to walk away, but then he's like, "Well, wait a minute, no witnesses." I guess he turns around. I guess it's supposed to be creepy. Turns around, starts like coming back up,
Like
he
he's gonna
did
get
look
her.
kind of creepy.
Yeah.
I mean,
and he's like,
He is creepy. He was a good. I
not
mean,
scary creepy, but like
I don't think I said
creepy
like-
creepy.
He's
Yeah.
creepy, but
Like
I didn't think he
insane
was scary.
creepy.
Yeah, I guess I had issues with the guy
He had
on
a
and off
good
throughout the
crazy
whole
eye.
thing.
I
yeah.
agreed with that.
So
totally.
supposedly the girl gets killed. You don't really see it, but
Thank God.
that's what happens. Okay, before we go on, I have to ask her because I meant to ask this before I just totally got into it. I forgot. Since you are white, if you woke up to, and Chris is dead and in your bed, and you wake up to a bloody killer staying over, are you gonna be like, "Hey, Chris, wake up"? Or are you just gonna scream and run for the door? What would you do in that situation?
I have no idea what I would do in that situation. I mean, like, I would think that you're going to be faced with some incredible shock.
Yeah.
I mean, I have no idea what I would do, honestly. in
I would
that
hope you would
situ-
run for the
I would
kids.
run. I mean, I would run. Yeah, but it would be obviously shocking.
Yeah. I agree.
I guess
It'd
if
be
he's
shocking.
obviously
That's like
dead,
a-
if he's
I
obviously
mean,
dead,
the
I'm
guy
gonna.
was like stabbed with his blood all over. He's holding a bloody knife above him, like.
Yeah, I would
just
run.
like,
Yeah, I would run for my life. Yeah,
At
I
least
would.
try to kick him in the balls or
Or
do
something.
something.
Yeah, I would
you know?
definitely be. Yeah.
Just sit on the bed going, "What'd you do? What's up?"
She was just like, "Oh, what'd you do?" Like she was just like, "Oh," like she was scolding him almost.
Yeah.
Why?
What
What'd
did you do?
Time out. Time out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It could have been better. It could have
It
been a
could've-
better
yeah.
acted scene for sure.
So Simon now walks out of the house, and the two policemen are out in the yard, and these are the worst cops ever. This does not give you any faith or security in the British police department. It's over
Are they
there.
None at
cops
all.
or are they bobbies?
Oh,
I
what's
think
the
Bobby is like
difference?
is just like the slang for
It's
a
a
British
slang
cop.
for a British cop.
Bobby. Yeah,
Bobby.
British Bobby.
We
I
need
can't-
we need some British input here.
So they stand there and look at this guy. They're like, "Hey, get down on the ground." Hey, okay, that's Canadian, but you're like, "Just get down."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Fuck you." He's like, and they're like, "Oh, okay."
I was gonna say they're British, not
There was no-
Canadian.
Yeah.
There was no aggression there at all.
No,
Like they were like,
they might as well have been like Canadian cops. Like, "Hey, can we offer you some
I know.
tea and
I know,
credits or
right?
something?"
Will
Would
you
you
please
like?
put these
and
handcuffs
Santa
on?
like barely smacks them. They go flying across the yard. It's
Yeah,
like
they're awful.
this is
they
Jesus.
epically fail at trying to arrest this guy, and they just get knocked around, thrown all over the place, and then it shows Detective Holden and his like little female sidekick.
She just like weighs 90 pounds.
Yeah, she's like, so tiny.
And he looks like a drunk. He's just
He's got long
shirt's
hair,
all
just smoke.
disheveled.
He's like, and so he's just standing back watching these two other cops just get tossed around while just watching this butt fuckery happen while smoking.
Butt fuckery. I like that.
That's exactly what he sounds like the 90-pound girl.
Yeah,
okay.
he's like, "You go take care." So the
He's like, "Hey, you gotta
girl,
arrest her."
who looks
arrest her.
so young. She looks like she's like 18 at
18,
best.
90, yeah, exactly.
It looks like it was like I meant to like what was it? Bring your daughter to work. Day. He's like, "Here, honey, go arrest this guy." Right along. So the two policemen they fail. The girl tries to arrest Simon now, and she fails too. She just gets thrown to the ground immediately,
Right.
mounted, and Simon's about to like just punch her in the face when the detective's like, "Hey, why don't you try picking on somebody your own?" It's basically
Yeah,
that's
it's
what
like,
it
Right,
is.
he's
exactly.
calling him out.
He's calling him out.
Hey,
And-
buddy.
Yeah. And it's like he's still smoking a cigarette. I guess he's supposed to be all the tough guy, cool.
I called him Detective Badass because I didn't exactly grab his name, but
So Simon gets up off the girl, and and long story short, it's another really shitty
It's
scene.
just drawn out BS.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
like,
it's
it's drawn
really-
out. It was like it was really going nowhere.
It was.
You know, I mean, I don't even know how else to put it. It was like I'm watching this and I'm like,
It was absolutely
what
pointless.
the fuck is going
Yeah,
on
it's
here?
really bad writing in
Mm-hmm.
this part. But the detective managed to get Simon handcuffed and arrested, and he's like, "Merry fucking Christmas" as he loads into the back of the car. But I had a question on this. It made me giggle at the fact that, excuse me, he was charged and arrested with the charge of suspicion of murder.
Right.
Now, I would think the 3 dead bodies inside might clear up the suspicion
think
part.
so.
Right.
That's
I would
a
agree.
straight up
Just go in and
murder.
check it out.
Yeah.
And he goes, "We've been looking for you for a long time."
For years
For
is what he made it sound
years.
like. For
Yeah.
years, like
What
this
is
dude
it
keeps
about
coming back
you and
every Christmas Eve
Yeah.
and starts killing
He's
families.
like, "Oh, you were
Like,
caught by a silent alarm." Ha ha.
yeah,
So if it's not really suspicion of murder anymore,
At
it's
all.
just straight up murder.
straight up.
And he just surrenders to that too.
I know. And
Okay,
Oh,
well,
yeah,
just
you
put me in
got
the
me.
car.
he
Yeah.
lays down. He gets cuffed up. Fine.
Whatever. I guess I just killed again, so I'm cool for another year.
Yep. So now
Long
the
intro.
opening credits roll.
Yeah, like the longest intro
Yeah.
ever.
God.
It's
Like, and now the movie starts.
Yeah.
Actually.
so it's Christmas Eve 1 year later, and we meet the 3 main girls who are in a van. They're driving up to some lodge cabin for a girls' weekend Christmas, and it's like it turns out to be Scotland eventually.
Yeah,
It's
they're
like
going to
northern-
Scotland
Yeah.
in the winter.
in the winter.
All right?
Keep
The
that in mind. That's
Kentish-
very important. That this is Scotland in the winter.
Yes.
that
think
will
of
come
that.
back later.
The Kentish countryside.
Yes.
Like they're like in the countryside.
That's actually because that's where the
Mountainous
film it was
area.
filmed in the Kent area.
Yes.
And heck, the name of the production game is like Kent Films or something like that. So it's
Yeah.
the whole thing up there.
One of the actresses is from Kent,
okay.
England.
Yeah, that's right. One of them
Tidbit.
is.
Look
I
at
forget which
Sarah
one, but-
doing her research.
Hey,
I did. Look,
hey.
I forget which one it was,
That's how
but
I
you're right.
do.
Some it was. I think it was Emma. I think it might have been Emma.
Mm-hmm.
This is the main character. Right?
Yeah, the main
Yes,
one.
okay.
She's also a producer on it. I didn't notice that. Her name was as a producer.
Probably because
so
she
that's how
donated
got-
enough money.
Probably because
to
she
be
had
in
some
it.
cash and they needed some cash.
Exactly.
She probably
So,
rented the place. Anyway.
Like, I'll
We're
rent the
getting
place
a
out.
bag.
Yeah, right.
So nothing happened. This is your basic interchange girls bantering back and forth.
They all look the same.
They do. They all have like
Exactly.
dark brown to black
Brown
hair.
hair, yeah.
They all look relatively interchangeable, and they all have relatively large boobs.
Yeah.
Like
Uh-huh.
they all. There's.
They
while I was
all
like-
have way too much makeup on that they did themselves, or somebody else did that it was a lot, and they all had like the same color eyes. Like they all
especially
tried
Becky.
to.
During
Becky's
this
neck looks
interaction-
so heavy.
During this interaction in the van, you see 2 girls. I guess just from the camera was, you saw the 2 girls, and then you saw the other one. Like
Sarah.
they weren't like actually panning back and forth.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
just
It was
swift.
cut,
At
yeah.
one point, I thought, are they trying to use the same actress for 2 characters? Because 2 of them look so much alike.
They do.
I was
They
like,
really
wow.
do.
And you also, if you notice, they're supposed to be driving out to the countryside,
Mm-hmm.
but out the window they're obviously in the city.
Yep.
I mean, they are
The very
obviously
first shot
in
you
the
see
city.
them like the girl peeing and come back.
Right.
You see like the pine trees and the snow.
Uh-huh.
That's the exact stuff you see the snow too, by the way.
Right.
Is this drive? And then it's like, oh, we're out in the middle of nowhere. And then you see behind it, you see all these buildings
Yes.
going by in the
Yeah, I
background
was
of the
like,
windows.
this is supposed to be the countryside. You're obviously just riding a cab around town
Yeah.
filming this scene.
It's exactly what I thought.
I
too.
mean, but, we are doing horrible horror.
Yes. So, but the main takeaway from this dialogue is that Emma, the main girl is Emma. Her boyfriend cheated on her with a girl named Chloe.
Supposedly.
Supposedly.
Who's supposedly her other best friend.
Yeah. Frenemy and
Frenemy.
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 So basically, yeah, and so the other two are trying to take her in to cheer her up. That's like
Typical
that's the thing.
girl banter. That
Christmas.
bitch.
So
Fuck
yeah,
her.
yeah. Becky, Emma, and Sarah are the 3 main girls. And we already covered the fact they all look the same, big boobs.
Sarah.
Now the van does pass this one guy on the side of the road wearing pajamas. He's just jumping up and down all crazy, and they just go right by him.
He's
like,
smiling. They like make a note, like, "Oh, he's so crazy. What is he doing?
yeah,
What's he doing? Don't do it."
The left leg of his pants, like
yeah,
all pulled up real high.
or torn off or something. I
Yeah.
couldn't tell, but yeah, missing one leg. So they finally arrive at the cabin, the lodge, and it's supposed to. And this is what I said. It's supposed to be really cold, northern England, Scotland, all that. And there's no snow anywhere.
No snow.
No.
No snow.
Nothing.
And like I said, I've never been to Northern England. I've never been to Scotland, but I would imagine there would be snow in December up like the mountain areas up there. So,
well, they did drive through some snow.
Yeah, you see a shot.
That's
of
what.
them
That's the whole point. Is that as they're driving,
it's supposed to be really cold there.
Yeah.
But yeah, no snow, nothing.
Yeah, no.
And so they get dropped off. They go inside, and you see a pointless. The only point of the scene is to convey information but it's basically the guy who's driving the van, who you never see. But they show the van driving away, and you hear the radio, the good old cliche radio announcement. Gamora says, "Oh, alert that several inmates of the local asylum have escaped, and numbers unknown." I'm like, I would think you would know how many people escaped. You do a head count, you kind of get an idea of who's there and who's not. Again, not giving me a whole lot of faith in this British.
You could kind of put you. I would think that they would know which inmates had actually escaped. You would hope that they would know exactly which ones.
Where's Detective Badass making sure that his man?
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Either way.
But yeah, they're like, oh, we don't know how many, but they're gone. So, well, good luck, Merry Christmas. So now it cuts to the asylum, which is weird because I guess it's supposed to be like a flashback, but it's not very clear.
No.
But that's the only way I can make sense of it in my mind because the actions.
Because it also starts though in such a weird way. This next scene is kind of unnecessary as well.
I don't completely unnecessary because it does not come back in any way, shape, or form to even help the movie.
No, it's just this nurse Temple who comes in late. You don't even know she's a nurse. She opens the door, looks at her cell phone, goes shit, and that's it. And then she's getting changed in the locker
room. She jumps in the shower before her shift.
Exactly.
And
which she's already late for.
It is unwanted, unneeded, and unwarranted nudity.
Yeah,
she is not attractive.
No, she's not.
She has like a big weird bruise on her.
That bruise or a tattoo?
I couldn't tell.
It is so gross. It's not. I'm just like,
it's like.
Couldn't even
if this is the quality of nudity you're gonna get you moved, just don't put it nudity.
Exactly.
I understand maybe you're trying to keep it real and people are.
And then there's weird interaction with her and this doctor, and you're thinking that the doctor's gonna. He's like walking around holding like a cup and saucer of tea,
drinking tea,
and he's so weird that you think he's somehow gonna be like part of this film.
Yep. I thought the same thing. Like, okay, where are we going here? Yeah. None of these characters ever come back.
Never
again.
At all.
He gives her like a verbal lashing for being late, but again, doesn't fucking matter.
None.
Basically, the only time the nurse runs into Simon in the hallway and she gives him his pills, and she's like, "I'm a good listener. Here, take your pills," for some reason. And then,
and why is he just
roaming around the hallway?
Like a mass murder, he's just roaming the hallway, completely unguarded.
Why is he in a low security mental institution? Why is he there? Because
I totally get that. I just thought the same thing. Like, I get, okay, maybe mental institution, he's crazy, dressed, get that. But
let's go back real quick. According to Detective Badass, he'd been killing for years.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And they finally found him.
Yep.
Wouldn't you think that this guy would be chained to the fucking wall?
Oh, yeah.
And like,
he'd have handcuffs on, leg shackles. He'd be
guarded.
Yeah.
No.
He would not be.
He's just roaming a mental institute by himself.
Totally. And the fact is, after he spits out his pills, I know. I've never been in an insane asylum myself, but I don't think they let their patients walk around in jeans and a wife beater.
Yeah.
Instead of like scrubs or a gown.
And it doesn't even look like he's really in the hallway. It's almost like in the back catacombs of the hospital.
Right.
I mean, it's like he's in the maintenance. He's in the maintenance department.
What are you doing here?
Well, and she gives him the pills, and he like turns around and immediately spits them out, like forcefully, like bah. Like, how would she not know that just happened?
Right.
I mean,
you would hear him go, tuh, or in the pills like hit the floor or something. She's like, just wanders away.
I mean, obviously she's a fuck up. We know that because of all the previous scene. But I mean,
this is.
Yeah, it's awful.
Ridiculous.
I gotta be honest, I checked out. I mean, I watched this movie twice, but at this point, I was like, I can't even like.
I know, I had a hard time. I watched it twice too, but it gets complicated. All right. So I don't even know where to go. Then really next thing is Simon is sitting on the couch in this, I guess supposed to be the lounge. It's basically a white room with two little couches and a little Christmas tree in between. And I'll mention, you do see like the crazy guy that we saw in the pajamas earlier, like with a puppet squirrel or something like that, going like loud.
Yeah. And he's drawing with pencils.
He's way
Oh no,
overdoing
he's not drawing with pencils? I thought he was.
No, he was drawing something. The squirrel was drawing with pencils. He was doing something,
okay.
markers. Anyway, Simon comes in, stares the guy down, and he runs off. So he's sitting on the couch, and then some fat guy in a Santa coat and beard just walks in.
Is he on staff?
Yeah, I'm guessing he's supposed to be staff, but
He's like, "Hey, retard."
Yeah, what's this, retard? What's up? He just like throws his coloring book aside and starts knocking things around for no reason.
Right.
And Simon just stands up and basically like mad dogs this guy. He's like, "Brr," and he just knocks him onto the couch. And there's no resistance from this guy. If he's supposed to be an orderly or a doctor or something,
Right.
he does nothing. He's like, hey, you can't touch her. Hey, help her. He just sits there
Just
and
lays
takes it like a
back.
bitch.
Yeah.
That's why it's hard to tell. Is he a patient too? I
thought he was a
first,
patient.
The only time I realized he was a patient because when Simon's going through like his stuff,
he
has
looks
like an
at
ID
his,
tag.
his ID
Which
tag.
is like what I think what the nurse and the doctor were.
I
That's
see.
the only indication I'm like, okay, this guy I guess
Yeah, I didn't
works
catch
here.
that. I thought he was a patient.
I did too at first until I saw the name, the little lanyard.
Right.
But anyway,
So
basically,
terrible.
But then
it's
again,
awful.
yes, if he's an orderly or something, why is he just laying down like a bitch?
Exactly.
This
This
makes
is
no
not going to
sense.
make no sense.
It makes
Not
sense.
going to make no
We
sense.
should-
And
maybe we
otherwise-
shouldn't look too
also,
deeply
why
on
would
it.
you go
Ew.
up to a guy who's like 6'5",
Right.
6'6",
I mean, like,
close to 300
hey,
pounds,
retard.
who is a convicted, famous mass murderer, and just like,
Yeah.
what's up, retard, and smash
Just
his
start-
shit away.
yeah.
And when he's like a short, fat guy, incredibly out of shape, like, what are you thinking? This guy's not
Power
restrained.
trip. I don't know.
Yeah, that is awesome.
So basically, Simon kind of gets on top of him and grabs the markers from the table and stabs him in the head,
Yeah.
killing him with
Markers.
Multiple
Yes.
markers in the side
This
of
dude
the skull.
has a skill
He
For
does.
to
puncturing
be able
That's
to
true.
like puncture a
He's
skull.
anything.
He
with-
likes to
yeah.
puncture.
He could probably.
does,
I guess
yeah.
you can maybe could stick his finger in
Yeah,
someone's skull.
just
and
like,
kill him. I
yeah,
don't know.
exactly.
Yeah.
He knows just the
And
soft
this
spots. I
isn't,
guess.
and it's
I
not
don't
the
know.
last time this happens either. It happens again later
Right.
with another odd object that would no way, shape, or form ever penetrate bone. So he takes the Santa coat off the guy, and it fades to black, and it goes to the girls in the cabin.
Oh,
And-
we forgot to mention
Oh,
really
okay.
quick that when the dumb nurse was talking to Simon in the hallway, she says, "Cheer up, love. Tomorrow's Christmas Eve."
Oh,
And
yeah.
he looks at her very intensely. And that's when we segue to the other thing. So
Ah.
the knowledge of
So
Christmas
he's
Eve
he
tipped
knows.
him,
Trigger.
triggered
Mm-hmm.
his insanity. So now he's
Chris.
become Santa.
Maybe this guy's like, like every
not
like,
that intense,
every
but
other
that's what
day
I
of the
got.
year, he's just like average, simple,
Just
nice
like,
guy.
hey,
Guy.
man.
Somebody's grandpa like, hey, let's go to the park. Christmas coming, he just snaps.
Yeah,
He's
apparently,
like Jekyll and
yeah.
Hyde or
Christmas
something.
Apparently, he
love.
didn't get presents as a kid.
I
A
guess, or hugs or
somebody,
something, yeah.
something bad happened to him on Christmas.
little backstory would have been.
What's up
nice.
with you?
Yeah, there's no
Christmas.
backstory to this guy at all.
Oh, Ugh.
So the girls in the cabin. Emma is looking around the grounds, and she's in this room is featured a few times, and I don't know. It's not really a basement. It's not really a wine cellar, but it's
Like a
sort of
kitchen?
under the house. It's like a stone wall, stone floor.
I would say it's like a crawl space. It's like
kind of, but just like a wooden. It's like very old, like medieval time looking
there's-
room.
Well, it is.
Like maybe it was an old kitchen or
Yeah.
maybe an old kitchen.
I'd probably say a kitchen
Mm-hmm.
back in
Like an old
way
style one,
back. 'Cause
yeah.
There's like a
There's like
fireplace
a wood,
down
and like
there.
Yeah.
a wooden counter, but it's
Yeah.
all stone. It's really weird.
Yeah.
So she's down there, and she's coming out, and she runs into this creepy black tooth guy in a cowboy
meth
hat,
mouth guy.
Yes.
and he tips his hat at her, smiles, and then walks away, and is never seen again.
Again.
What is up with
So
that?
again, why
What?
even show this
Yes.
guy?
She's all freaked
Well,
out.
Yeah,
Doesn't he set it? He sets the axe
he
down.
sets an axe down.
Mhm.
So, but like. Again, why is this guy even in the movie? Like, you could have had the axe just lean up against the wall the whole movie. No
Right.
point.
Right.
I know.
Right. No. Yeah.
Or next to a pile of firewood.
Or
you
at
know?
least bring him back and kill him.
Yeah.
Something.
Or like I thought, okay, maybe they're gonna do some kind of run here. Like maybe the girls are gonna think this guy's the killer.
Right.
And he's gonna show up dead. No, he just
No.
smiles creepily, walks away. That's it.
That's
That's it.
Never see him
That's
again.
it.
No point in having him in
Yeah.
this movie.
Yeah, so are there supposed to be people at this lodge? Like, is it a bigger
That's
lodge
the other
than
thing that was
them?
bothering me, too.
Is
It's-
it just them? Because there's the crazy meth mouth guy,
Uh-huh.
and there are other instances where we see people.
Well, they do go on a hike which is coming up.
That comes up,
Which is
so-
actually coming up right now.
Yeah,
so
right,
We'll just
so,
get to
okay.
that. The three of them decided to go off on a hike, and I don't know where this dog. There's
a
this
random
dog there.
dog,
There's a
that's
random
right.
dog there,
Hey,
and
dog.
it's one shot. It's like one shot of them walking away, and the very next
Are there
shot,
people
dog's gone.
Yeah.
No explanation why the dog's there.
Random dog.
And anyway, they go on this hike, and they come across a ski resort.
Yes.
And there's snow, but all from their lodge to the ski resort, no snow anywhere.
No.
They get to the ski resort, snow. And they have a snowball fight. And Chris
This bothered me so
he
bad.
has something to say, and I might skip it, so I don't know what it is. But just go ahead. Go ahead. Because I don't know where you're going.
They're getting there. All right, so there's the montage type thing, right? This crappy music starts playing. They're having this
British
snowball
music, British
fight.
Christmas
They're supposed to be building the snowman, which in the scenes, the snowman's already built when they get there.
I totally missed this thing with snowman. No idea anything about snowman. I thought they were just having a snowball fight.
They were gonna
and you
build a
see people.
snowman.
You see people skiing in the
Yes.
background and everything. There's all this snow. This was obviously they went to some sort of a ski resort.
Yeah.
And did this quick little
Off to the
scene.
side, yeah.
You know what I mean? And then cut it into the movie.
Exactly.
But it just pissed me off so bad.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. Like they obviously, it's like the same day they drove to the ski resort. They did the
Right.
stuff on the side of the road of snow.
Right.
Got the
Because-
ski resort scenes, and then then the rest
That
of
was
the movie
it.
just done.
It's like they got to their destination, no snow.
Yep.
They go on this hike, suddenly snow everywhere. And it's like none of the people in the background are ever seen again.
Nope.
So I mean, it's just like again, like they just showed up at this place, like, hey, we're just gonna bring a camera and we're just gonna do these quick scenes.
Yeah, it was like ninja guerrilla filming or something.
Who'd you say directed this movie?
Something Davis.
Either way, this dude
Steve
needs
Davis.
to like never ever direct a movie ever again.
Whoa, we're getting ahead. We're getting ahead.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Um,
Well, can we also talk about how they are definitely not dressed to go on a hike in the wintertime and go have a snowball fight and build a snowman?
I was going to say that for later because it gets so much worse.
Yes,
later
it
than the
does.
wardrobe
Well, we'll
choices.
talk. Yeah,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I
Yes.
mean, they're definitely not dressed for what they're doing.
Exactly.
So the scene is not true.
I, mean,
No.
I have, I
But
have
they're
a
not.
theory, but we're gonna wait for the budget game.
So Emma goes back to the cabin while the others go off to get booze, and when Emma gets
And when they go to get booze, they have to take two people have to go get booze because
Yes.
they need so much wine.
so
Yeah,
we
we're gonna
need
get
so
so
much
much
wine.
wine.
that one person can't carry it all. So Emma gets back, she gets back to the cabin, and she finds Chloe,
Who does not look like everybody
no,
else.
she's actually blonde.
She's the only one.
She's the one blonde.
She's the hated one.
Yeah, she's the frenemy, and she's
Oh.
at the cabin waiting for her. And Chloe's like, "Hey, I want to talk about what happened with your boyfriend and me." And it's like, "But didn't she?" Because basically, the whole thing is like they slept in the same bed, fully clothed. But Emma's like, "You cheated," or blah blah blah. stuff
Oh,
Well,
like
they
it's
that.
made a
just
big
over the
point saying that
top.
they were drunk. They were both drunk.
Yeah,
And we just
basically,
passed out. Nothing happened.
yeah. So you never really know if they cheat or not, and you don't fucking care.
But
It
no,
doesn't
because
matter.
it doesn't matter. It's just so long and drawn out.
Yeah.
And the chick
Yeah.
that plays Emma is so over the top with her emotions.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
she's
Constantly like
I mean,
gripping
these
her
are
face
obviously
and
some
crying.
catty ass bitches.
You're not my best friend.
Yeah.
How did
And-
Chloe get there?
who knows? That's a good point.
That's a
She
good
just
question.
shows up. I guess she was like in the van behind him or something like that, or
Trailing him.
trailer. Yeah, like how did she even get there? But so Emma's like, I will have none of that. I'm not gonna hear it. So Emma's like, fine, I'll go off, get some firewood, let you calm down. We'll talk about it later. So Chloe,
And she's obviously smart. I'm gonna walk out in the woods by myself.
I'll
And
go
what
off
is
into
she
these
doing
woods.
at dusk?
Yeah.
Like
At
it's,
dusk?
yeah.
Yes. So the other two come back and they have like one bag of wine. Apparently, they
One
did
bottle.
One.
It's one bottle. That's my whole point. They made this big deal. Like two people had to go to help carry back the wine. They show up with one bottle of wine.
Anyway, I remember it was
four
shitty
glasses?
wine
I mean,
at
that's
that
not
too.
even-
It's like they were complaining about how shitty the wine was.
At this point, I'm like trying to talk Chris down. I'm like, it's not going to get better. It's not going to make sense. It's not going to. Just let it
I
go.
was so pissed. I'm
Let
sorry.
it go.
Yeah, so they chit chat. Again, nothing's fucking happening. Sarah decides, hey, I'm gonna go take a dip in the hot tub, and I'm gonna go get naked and wet, is what she says. But she never gets naked.
Nope,
No.
she's
It's like,
not
why
naked.
would say I'm gonna go skinny dip or get naked when you don't get naked?
Maybe it's a British thing. Maybe like when you take off some of your clothes.
When you wear a bikini, you're naked.
you're naked. I don't know.
So it goes back to Chloe, and she's walking around, hiking in the mountains. Again, just like hilly side, mountainy, no snow.
No.
No snow.
And she comes across the crazy guy from the asylum. It's the one they passed early in the van earlier with the pajamas on.
Mm-hmm.
He's jumping around going like, "Wah, wah," and he starts chasing
Chasing
after
her.
her.
Yeah, he's real manic.
Yeah. So they're fleeing. She's fleeing from the crazy guy, and she trips over a body of a dead hiker in the woods.
Is that what it was?
Who was that? We didn't know.
It's just some random guy. Just some random
Was
hiker.
it?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just a random guy.
Okay. I thought maybe it was the cab driver, but
Yeah.
No,
we
because
didn't
he's
know.
wearing like a, I don't know, I just assume he's hiking because he's wearing like, you know, like a north face
Yeah,
coat,
yeah.
one of those like a winter coat. And so time passes. We don't really know how much, but it went from like late afternoon dusk, now it's like nighttime.
It's definitely dark.
It's dark. And instead of running back to the cabin for help, Chloe decides to just sit in the woods by
I'm just
herself.
gonna nest up
I'm
right
just gonna
here.
sit right here.
I'm just
Freeze
gonna
my
wait
ass
this
off.
out.
Yep.
Wait it out.
Wow.
What?
Which I was like, why would you do that?
I know.
You just found a dead body, but I'm just gonna sit right here next to it and wait for nothing.
Yeah.
Oh god.
So
Who needs help? I got
yeah,
this.
I
We're
got
good.
it.
Yeah, right.
So of course Simon then walks up to her and he's standing in front of her, and she manages to get out a scream before he kills her with an axe. And this is where the axe is covered in blood, and he starts licking the blood off the axe. And like
Over the
slurping it
top.
off the tip, and
Oh,
then
that's
he lets it
Yeah,
drip
there's
down
so
into
much
his
blood
mouth.
on it that he's holding it over his face, and it's just running into his
Drinking it.
mouth. It's like,
so drawn out.
oh,
Yeah,
God.
it's
just
not
never
like this is like the
stops.
one thing like I liked it. I thought
I mean, yeah,
I like the
yeah.
fact I liked it. Okay, lick it was kind of cool, and then I thought it was kind of like just let it drip down. Like that's kind of neat. But then when you start like slurping the tip of them, like
Right.
okay, that's
It was
too
a
much.
little
That's
too
much.
much.
It was
That's
a little
too
much.
weird.
It was a
He
little
just
much.
took it too far.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you just took it too far. like it
was-
went from kind of creepy to like
Yeah.
that's just.
That's
But if
weird.
Over the line.
if they had
Over the
faded
line.
out while it was just dripping into his mouth, then it would have
that
been
would
like
be cool.
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
I'm like that's cool.
Then he's like, "Ah."
Then they would have
It
had to
goes
do a
on
fade.
for another couple minutes.
They would have had
yeah.
to do a fade instead of like a hard cut edit,
Sure.
and that's
Yeah.
harder. With you have to have better technology.
Yes, you have to move the little dial down, a little
Apparently
slide.
my wife is also a film critic. All right.
I'm assuming that I could be wrong.
I actually had some old
Somebody
edit
could tell
video
me I'm
editing from like days when from VHS. We actually took up 2 VCRs, and yeah, all you do was fade. You just had this little slider, and you slid it
Fade
down,
down.
and that was it. So apparently, you couldn't do that for this thing.
So it's not that hard, is what you're saying.
No. And so back to the cabin, and Becky and Emma are putting up Christmas decorations.
A Christmas tree that
Christmas
suddenly
tree
came
appeared.
out of where?
Yeah, they came up with a few bags of clothes. But like, where are they?
Yeah.
This they hauled this
Let's put
Christmas
up, I'm
tree
gonna
up
put
with
up
them.
the tray. Where did the tray come from?
Yes,
Do
and,
they
and
cut
the
the closet?
decorations.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it's like, where does stuff? That's a
We
good
missed
point. I
this
didn't even
part.
think about that. And it's not like it's a
Not
real tree. Like,
logical.
oh, they could have cut it down. But no, it's
Yeah.
like a little small fake mini
Yeah.
tree. And Emma's like, I'm gonna go change clothes. That's what she says. At basically takeaway.
Yeah.
But really, what this means is I'm gonna go take off clothes.
Yes.
Because she doesn't change into something warmer. She just strips down into her panties and a wife beater.
Yeah, that's basically it. Like a little tank top, like a shelf bra.
And the tightest
White.
shorts that I've ever seen. I mean,
Yeah,
They're not even
obvious,
shorts. They're
they're
panties. They're
yeah.
like little pink.
yeah, they're boy short
boy short kind of
panties.
panties.
Yeah.
obvious camel toe too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God. In a Scottish winter,
Yeah. Yes.
no slippers.
So this is where I started having issues. Like, okay, these girls, all three of them now, are barely wearing any clothes in a cabin in Scotland in December.
Yes.
That, as far as we know, has only a small fireplace warming this cabin.
yeah, right.
Unless there's some magical furnace heater somewhere that we aren't seeing.
Not sure.
What is going on? These guys
I-
be freezing their
Well,
asses
This is
off.
bothering me.
And that
It
was the
bothers
thing
me
too.
too.
Chloe was like, she was like, Emma was like, Chloe, go get firewood. If you really care, then go get some firewood because we're freezing in here. We need, our fire's gonna die. So like they kept talking about how Chloe was gone and needed to come back soon and get bring firewood.
And then you're like, oh, it's so cold.
gonna
Then
get
put
naked.
some fucking clothes
Right.
on.
Yeah. At least a jacket.
That's how bad it was, guys. We wanted them to put clothes
on.
on.
Yeah.
Even though it was an
That's the
excuse.
first, yeah.
Like, and all this. Yeah, okay, so.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, Sarah Sue, who actually still in the hot tub. I get it. She's in a hot tub. She's in a bikini.
Yeah.
I get that because that's
That's-
nice and warm.
Yeah.
That's excusable.
Yeah.
Though it looked like an inflatable pool.
It is. It's an inflatable hot tub. It was just like it's exactly what it was. It was an inflatable hot tub that she's in, and she's rocking out with her headphones on, singing
like a
some awful song that you
Pretty
can't make
Woman
sense.
moment. Did you guys
Yeah,
like catch
I
like
did-
the Pretty
I did
Woman?
kinda get
Where,
that.
you know, like when Pretty Woman where
No.
she's laying in the tub singing
Prince.
Prince
Oh.
and she's singing.
I'm not that
kissing.
familiar with Pretty Woman. So.
Well, there are lots of people that would get that.
So you go.
I'm well aware a lot of people have loved that movie.
Oh,
So we see.
sorry.
No, I'm proud of it. I just anyway. So we see a guy in a Santa coat kind of come up from behind her, and he's like grabs her, but it's just her boyfriend, the pothead.
John.
Yeah, it is John. Or
John.
Dawn or something like that. And they end up making it on the hot tub.
He's
no
like,
boobs.
nice
You don't get any
tits.
boobs. You have the 3 girls with giant tits, but you don't see any boobs in this movie
right.
whatsoever, except
Something-
for the nurses who you don't want to see.
You don't want to
at
see.
all.
So this is one of the things. All right, if you're gonna make a movie this fucking bad,
Yeah,
I mean this fucking horrible, can we at least get some titties?
exactly. I thought the same
right.
thing.
Can we break up the monotony a little bit?
You see him running around in tank tops and like Danny, Becky, her character named Becky, ginormous tits, and
Big.
like, and even Emma's are pretty nice. Emma's got a nice body. I'll say that.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, in this movie, you
Something?
don't tease. Like, just show
Something,
those. I mean,
please?
come on. Why else are these people in
At
this
least,
movie?
at
if it's
least
not
a
for
shot
that?
of her changing her shirt.
Yeah.
You know what I
Well,
mean?
did you
Something.
notice when she was upstairs like changing, they had this whole moment where she like this touching moment where she opened this present that was supposed to be
Oh,
from Ryan.
God, yeah.
And she got really upset and started crying. But the
Yeah.
whole time she was leaning over so that I thought it was a great excuse to like just see her cleavage.
Cleave, yeah.
Because
I
the way
was
she
so
was
upset with
sitting,
this movie. I wasn't even paying attention to cleavage.
Right.
I was like, I was too
I
pissed
was
off at her
trying-
awful acting. With the, she finds this
I was
little
trying
present.
to find something. I was
She
trying to
finds
find
this
something.
present in her bag,
yeah.
and it's like from Ryan. It's like, to my beautiful love or something. Ryan. She's like,
For many Christmases to come.
yeah, it's stupid.
Yeah.
So
No
anyway, Sarah and her boyfriend, the pothead, are making out in the hot tub.
I'm gonna do it.
Emma goes outside to check. She hears some noises, so she goes outside. But again, she doesn't put on clothes or even a coat. She goes out onto this porch in panties and a wife beater in fucking December in Scotland, where it's supposed to be so freezing.
Yes.
Anyway, nothing fucking happens. It's just her
didn't even
boy.
write
Oh,
that
not
down.
her boyfriend. I got confused here. At first, I thought it was her boyfriend Ryan showed up, but it's
Becca's boyfriend.
Becky's boyfriend. Paul. Who fucking cares
Paul?
what his name is?
Paul.
Paul.
I
Paul?
think.
Who knows? And so
Yeah, Paul.
Becky, Emma, and the new guy, they're in the kitchen talking. Becky mentions that Chloe is still out looking for fire, which by now has been hours.
Yeah.
Hours. And nobody's like really seems to give a shit. But they're like, she'll be back in a minute. Emma again says it's freezing. And I'm like, go put on some fucking clothes, bitch. I mean, Jesus, if you're that cold,
Yes.
go put on some clothes.
Do something.
And so
cardigan.
Paul, I'm sorry. Paul asks, like, where's Chloe? Even though not 20 seconds ago, Becky just said, she's out getting
She's
firewood.
out getting firewood, right?
This is awful writing, and
It's-
this is so bad.
And this poor son of a bitch ends up getting volunteered,
Yep.
guilted in to go in to look for Chloe.
Exactly, because he's like, he doesn't really want to go, but Becky says, if you don't go look for her, I'm getting out of these cute little pajamas that you like so much and putting on a onesie. Now, keep in mind, these cute little pajamas are just boxer shorts and a gray tank top.
I don't even think they're boxers, but either way, yeah,
That's
she's barely wearing anything.
Yeah.
And yes.
It's not like she's wearing cute lingerie or something.
No, exactly.
Or something silky or saying. It's fucking boxers and a tank top.
Exactly.
So, and so Becky kisses him. He leaves. And at this point, I just cleared out my own notes, but I was really confused as to who this guy is because I was like, why? Because I thought it was Ryan. So I'm like, why is he kissing Becky and all this stuff?
Right.
We cleared out
It's
that.
not,
So it doesn't
yeah.
fucking matter. So Sarah and her boo are in the room. They're getting high. She wants to bang, but all he cares about is his weed. And this scene is so fucking boring that I don't care, that I kind of just skimmed over it because it's awful.
Please,
He
because
gets
I really just
super
wanted.
dumb.
I just really wanted to reach to the TV and like punch him right in the mouth.
Yeah,
He's such
awful.
a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
He is a douchebag.
I've smoked weed in my day. Almost everybody has, but I've never once said, you know what? I'd rather smoke weed than have sex. Nope. I think I'll put the joint down and go for the girl.
Yeah.
Um,
Not only that, but he's like spilling his weed all over his
yeah.
shirt.
And he's spilling it over, but
Who
at the
taught
same
this
time,
dude how to
he's
roll
like,
a joint? I mean, let's be honest.
he sprinkles it on
Not that
top.
we
Like it's like, so
Moving
anyway,
on,
yeah.
please.
So Beck and Emma are roasting marshmallows in the fireplace while Sarah's boyfriend goes to take a piss. Now, he can't aim worth shit because he pees all over the place.
He's just pissing everywhere, and
Yeah.
he thinks it's really funny. Like a 12-year-old boy.
This
like,
guy's acting is awful because he's supposed to
terrible.
be playing high, but he comes across more drunk than high. I've been high before, but I'm not sort of stumbling all over there, and I can't.
I see. I thought he was playing retard.
Yeah, okay, well, playing retard actually. So he's trying to light his joint, and he drops the lighter, I guess, into the toilet. Or he drops it, and when he looks down into the toilet, he sees the toilet bowl filled with bloody body parts and blonde hair. Now,
I thought it was
I'm
a scalp.
guessing
like
this
a
is
head?
supposed to be Chloe's head.
Yeah, that's
I'm
what we're
thinking,
supposed to.
But to me, it looks like a foot with blonde hair. Because it just looks like a heel, like the
Just
big
looks like
heel, and then like
meat.
hair and
I
blood.
just thought like
hair.
a blonde wig and some I don't know,
Pieces of
hamburger.
weird
Yeah,
thing.
who knows? You can't really tell. But
No.
so he, it cuts to the Paul, the guy
Yeah.
who went out to get wood.
And to find Chloe.
Yeah, and to find Chloe. He goes like, he's out in the woods, like, what is that? And it's a fire.
Yes.
It's like a little campfire. Like,
Yeah.
But he acts like he's
Well, it's not a
never
little
seen-
campfire. It was like a pretty good sized campfire.
Well, but it's not like a big bonfire. To me, it was like an average little campfire.
Either way.
And he's like, what is that? And
Yeah.
he's like, dude, come on. It's a fucking fire. So,
I think we've established that these guys are idiots.
yeah, they're fucking morons. And so basically, he gets killed by Simon in a really, really bad fight scene. It's awful. I mean,
Fight me like a man. Fight me. Doesn't he say, like, fight me like a man?
something like that. He
Something
drops
like
the
that.
axe.
Yeah, he drops the
just
axe
pushes
and,
him
like,
over.
yeah.
He like runs up to him and just like starts giving him haymakers.
Yeah.
The guy's like the
Simon.
Incredible Hulk, or like he's
Right,
wearing
he's
like
just
like
standing there.
a metal piece of like armor, and he's just standing like hands on his hips, almost like. Oh, you
Well,
can't
and
hurt
it's
me.
obvious
The guy's,
too,
like,
though, that this
punching him in
Paul
the
guy is
stomach.
like not really hitting him.
Yeah.
You know,
No.
Like,
It's
It's
something you see
Can't
like
we
a
at
kid's
least-
cartoon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like the bad guy's trying to beat up the hero or something. He's like,
It's
all
supposed
right.
to be
Right.
sticky.
Yeah,
I
and
guess.
it's so bad.
Or, oh, who knows?
But basically, Simon ends up killing him by stabbing him in the chest with a stick, with a pointy stick.
Another
a
stabbing.
blunt object.
Yeah.
It was it might have been. Blunt.
I mean,
He
you could be
actually
impaled
broke
by
it off the
something like
tree.
that.
Yeah, he did. He snaps it off the tree and then just stabs him in the chest with
Yeah.
it. Now, again, I'm skipping ahead a little bit because
do that.
this movie's awful. So eventually they decide to finally leave. The girl's like, okay, we're gonna get out of here. So they all head outside. Now keep in mind, it's supposed to be freezing fucking cold.
Uh-huh.
Emma at least put on a coat, but she still has no pants on.
No.
But she put on a coat. Nobody else even puts on a coat.
Right.
So Becky is wearing her tank top and boxers. Sarah's wearing her bikini top or like a bra and like pajama pants, and that's it. And it's supposed to be
In
like
December in
it's
Scotland.
supposed to be like 0 degrees, freezing cold, and so they get to the gate.
Well, and they go out there because they don't have cell service.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to go and walk around in the woods and try to find the
High
highest
ground,
point.
yeah.
High ground
Yeah.
to make a phone call.
That's it.
No landlines.
Yeah,
No.
but you would think of a landline
We're
would
all-
be there
we're
or
all
something.
okay.
So they get to the gate, and Simon there flings the door open. The girls run off, but John, the potter, just stands there like a fucking idiot, rubbing his eyes because he's so high. Like, oh my god, am I tripping? Again, another goddamn movie where they make weed and like LSD or something like
Right.
that. I'm so sick of that.
He says, Santa?
Santa? I wasn't the way he says it. It sounds like a little kid. He's like, Santa? It's so innocent sounding. Just like, what?
Right.
He finally turns to run, and Simon just throws the axe, and it flies into John, lodging in his back.
Which is pretty
Killing
cool.
him.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was going to say, this at this point could be my favorite kill. I don't know.
We'll have to find out
Right?
later.
Dun, dun, dun.
So inside, the girls are now arguing about what to do, where we go. Sarah's like, fucking, I'm out here, or something like that.
Yeah, she's kind of, she's in shock. She's kind of
I'm
fucked
going
up.
to go be with John.
Yes,
Be with
So basically
John.
says, I just want to go die.
I'm
'Cause
going to go be with
basically,
John.
He
yeah.
saw him murdered, and he's like, I want to go be with him. So yeah,
I'm going
she's
to open the door.
yeah. So she wants to die apparently.
Crazy person.
In which case, she gets her wish because as soon as she opens the door,
He's right.
of course, Simon's
He's
right,
there.
Right
He's
there.
right there.
He grabs her and starts strangling her.
She lets him right in. Come on in.
Becky's like, fuck this, I'm out. She runs right past both of them. She just takes
She
off.
bails.
She's the only one with acting
She's like, I
experience,
gotta
guys. She's out.
And so
She knows.
Emma,
Fuck you, bitches. I'm gone.
She has wisdom in her age.
Emma just stands there watching her friend get strangled. But finally, she's like, oh, I'm going to do something. She gets She stabs him in the neck with a candy cane.
Oh god.
Is it an ornament? Is it a candy cane ornament?
I
Is
I
it a
think it's an
candy
ornament.
cane?
Look at there's like a little string hanging
I was
off.
wondering
Okay.
what the red string was.
Yeah.
So okay, if it's an ornament, it's an ornament. But
Either way, she stabs him in the
stabs
jugular,
him.
like
if
right
you
in the
will.
neck.
Yeah.
And he goes down,
It's
presumably
awesome.
dead. Sarah's still alive, and Emma helps her up, and they're about, they turn to leave. Simon gets up,
Go.
grabs her
Sarah's
ankle,
leg, yeah.
pulls
Yeah.
her back. He mounts Sarah. He pulls the candy cane out of his neck, and then kills Sarah with it.
Before that, though, he bleeds.
He just bleeds
on her.
on her.
Yeah.
They show
All
the scene
over
of
her.
Sarah on her back and this blood just running down her chest into
like,
her neck, all over her
"Ah."
face.
Yeah.
It's-
So I want to.
that was like a decent part.
Yeah,
so.
I was gonna comment on
point
that
it
one.
out.
So he pulls out the candy cane, stabs Emma in the
No, Sarah.
fucking, or Sarah.
Sarah,
Thank you.
yeah.
Stabs Sarah in the forehead with
Again.
the candy cane,
Again,
killing her.
this dude has this magical power
Yes.
of being able to crush skulls with nothing.
with absolutely nothing. Yeah, exactly.
Maybe he's a ninja.
Ooh.
Oh.
Oh.
So, and the whole time, Sarah is just standing in the doorway watching. She doesn't try to fight him off. She just
She
stands
doesn't try to
there.
run
Nope.
or do anything.
So now, and he's doing this whole thing where, Simon is, while he's killing Sarah, he's looking at Emma the entire time, which
Yeah.
I actually like. This scene was like,
Yeah, he was
it's
kind of
period.
intense.
Yeah, he's like,
he was
I'm
pretty-
not even. This girl doesn't
Yeah.
mean anything. I'm looking right at you while I kill your friend. Eye contact right here.
Yeah, this was a good scene. I just was sad that it took so damn long to get to it.
I agree.
Like, we had to sit through so much bullshit. So much to get to this point. Like, I just wanted people to be stabbed earlier.
See, there you go. Now
There you
you get
go.
it.
You're welcome.
But I totally agree. This was probably my favorite scene, the best part of the movie. So
Yeah.
Emma and Becky are hiding from Simon in that little like room we
That
talked about
weird
earlier,
room, like the kitchen.
stone,
Yeah.
old stone under the house kitchen thing. And Emma says like, "Hey, go back into the house, lock yourself in," and she's like, "No, no, no," like, "Do it," and so fine.
She
whatever.
gives her this whole speech, though. This
Yeah.
is the thing. She's like, "You can do it. No, don't sacrifice yourself." Oh, no. All of a sudden, Emma becomes like
Yeah.
the hero. Like, she's all of a sudden like some kind of a war badass, and she's
which-
going to go in and like fight this. Like,
it bothers me
you
so
go.
much.
Just go get in the house and don't unlock the door.
Yeah.
I'm going to go get him.
It bothered me so much because
What?
just like,
You have no
seriously, like
weapons.
20 seconds ago, it was from established. Emma did absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
Almost, she just
Nothing.
stood there. Yeah, she stabbed him in the neck with the candy cane, but then just
She stood there and watched her friend die,
Exactly. Now it's obviously she's supposed to be the hero, the
Yeah.
badass. Like, no,
I'm in charge now.
like
nah.
no. So, Becky runs inside, closes the door, but as soon as she closes the door and looks to her right, there's Simon.
Of course,
right
he's
fucking
right
next
there.
to her.
Of course.
Like, how would you not see him? It's like open the door, like, oh shit, and close the door and run the other way. But no, he kills her by strangling her with gold garland.
Garland. Garland from the tree.
Yeah.
That
Yeah, because
was,
the garland is super strong.
That was
Like a
awesome.
Snap in half.
Yeah, it's made of string. It's made of string.
Tinsel and string
Yep.
is what he
That's it.
strangles her with.
Yep.
So
It's that good, everybody.
Yeah.
This is that good.
So outside, this is Emma again. She has her big badass. We're like, come out here and fight. Come
Where
get
is
me."
she?
Like,
She's just like out in the middle of the.
yeah. She's
I don't know. She's just screaming out.
yeah.
She's standing in quote unquote Scotland in December in her underwear, yelling at a psychopath.
Yeah, exactly.
Get me!
So she's trying to lure him out, and she.
And the
I don't know.
Cockney accent gets way bad when she starts yelling too. It's
I don't even know if it's technically a Cockney accent, but
I
the,
don't
the,
know.
the the British
don't know the
accents do
difference.
make it kind of hard to like. I won't say understand, but it's like it throws off the movie to me. Like I have nothing against
Well,
like,
right.
British stuff, but it's like the acting is like so bad that I think the British accent almost makes it worse in
Yes.
a weird way.
Yeah.
I agree.
Instead of like sometimes the accent can make things better, but no,
Agreed.
this is the
Agreed.
opposite.
I couldn't understand most of what they said. most
There are
of the
times where it's a little hard to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris could not focus.
So Emma ends up in the kitchen somehow, and she ends up face to face with Simon, and she basically just hits him over the head with a frying pan, and then grabs
Yep.
a knife from a drawer. But instead of killing him and
Yep.
finishing off, she decides to run past
Run
him.
away.
The guy's on the ground,
Run it
basically
out.
helpless because you just whacked him in the fucking head. But she runs over him and just goes to hide. I'm like, what? Are you fucking kidding me? Just
Stab
Stab
him.
him!
Finish it.
This is a chick who, like, 5 minutes earlier was standing in the
Like,
courtyard.
wanting you to come get me.
Yeah.
Like, come get
egging
me,
him
let's
on
fight. Now
with
she's like-
no weapons. No
weapons.
weapons at
Now
all.
she has a fucking knife, and I was like, I gotta run.
Oh.
Oh, it's maddening.
It is.
So Simon gets up, and he starts, like, frantically looking all over the place for her. And he ends up in the room with the hot tub, but there's no sign of Emma. Until she pops up from under
Jumps
the
out.
water and stabs him with the knife.
Stabs him.
Now, how the fuck does he not see her in this hot tub? Because it's a small inflatable tub.
Yes.
The room is brightly lit, and it's not that deep. It's not a fucking pool.
Right.
No.
It's just like...
It's like a birthing tub.
Yeah. So, I mean, and even the shot where you
Weird.
see her, like, come out of the water, like,
She
even when I was, like,
shoots right
you
out.
can see how shallow this pool is and, like, how clear the water is. Like, there's no... bullshit, man. It is so
Yeah,
stupid.
And we don't even get any like wet t-shirt boobs there either.
You really don't, because
No, because she's wearing a pretty hefty bra.
Yeah, you got the bra. You don't even get the nips or anything coming
Just
through.
saying.
And the other thing is, how
No,
long
you're,
was she
you're
been
right. You're right.
How long was she been holding her breath for in that
Right.
pool then too? It was like, Jesus Christ.
She's an Olympic swimmer, too.
Yeah,
Did
she
you
got like
not
a
know
scuba
this?
tank hiding under there or something.
Good.
And
I had checked out already. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he was,
Both times I watched it.
so she gets out of the tub. She grabs the axe that Simon dropped, and she waits for him to get back up.
Yeah.
Basically, then before she chops him with the axe. So she
She
waits.
taunts
and
him
Taunts
again.
him, though.
She taunts him instead of just chopping with the axe. She waits for him to get back up.
Come on.
Chops him in the gut with the axe, and then while delivering the same fucking one-liner that Detective Badass said earlier, she says, "Merry fucking Christmas."
Yes.
And then she goes nuts. She
Yeah.
chops him. This is important. She chops him repeatedly with this axe,
The
just
axe, yes.
hacking away at this guy. All right, so now it's the next day.
To where she's covered in like
She's
covered in
covered
blood.
in blood.
Yeah,
Yeah.
head to toe covered in blood. Next day, her
In her
boyfriend
panties.
in her panties and white Peter. Her boyfriend Ryan shows up. He finds her crying, covered in blood. He takes her home.
Right.
Emma's in the bath, bubble bath, and she's bathed, but she doesn't do a very good job because when she gets out, you know her legs are still covered in blood stains, so she doesn't do a very good job. So what's the point? The police show up and take her to the police station. Now it jumps back to the asylum we saw earlier, and it's going like the security monitors, hallway, doorway, and cells of different inmates in it, and then it goes to a blank cell or an empty cell, and Emma pops up from behind it, screaming. She's in like a paper robe. It's
Right.
like
She's like in like what you would wear at the gynecologist. She's like like a
Well, we
little.
wouldn't know.
Well,
we
I'm
wouldn't.
sorry.
Thank you
Yeah,
for
for our
that
female
info.
listeners, she was wearing, just like a paper gown, basically.
It's like a mini gown too. It's like a mini shirt.
Yeah, it was
yeah, yeah.
tiny.
It's
Yeah.
Oh, and it's
Yeah.
and it's definitely made out of like paper. And
she's screaming,
She's screaming, "I didn't do it.
it wasn't me,
It
it
wasn't
was
me. It was
Santa."
Santa." Like if you don't want to be, if you're trying
me,
to
it was Santa.
prove you're not crazy, don't be saying I
Don't be
didn't
saying
kill
it
him.
was Santa.
Santa killed him.
Be
Not
like
me.
this crazy tall guy that was dressed like Santa.
He's dressed
came
like
in-
Santa, but
came
don't
in.
say it was Santa.
And I want to know where the fuck was Detective Badass during this entire thing.
Right,
Exactly.
this entire investigation.
Well,
Well,
let's
no,
bring that up,
we
'cause
come
we're-
back.
And
We
who
go
was
back.
back then.
who is the forensics?
Exactly.
There are no
There's
forensics
evidence.
in Great
Like,
Britain.
and the fact, what, maybe, I don't know, self-defense? Like, they're
Right.
So we fade to black and fades in on the police station. Now, the young girl cop who we saw in the opening, she's there. She gets a phone call from somebody basically saying that Emma was picked up for the murders at the cabin. And
So
basically
they knew
pinned
about
on it.
this. They
Yeah.
knew about
Yeah.
the murders at the cabin.
Yeah.
Just
there's-
now they're finding out. Like she's finding out that the murders happen and
Well, the only big thing I would say about this is if, again, and I don't like to give it too much credit, but I'll give it some benefit of the doubt on this, that these cops, let's say, are from, I don't know, I'm just going to say London. Don't
Yeah.
know. And
Right.
because the girls did take supposedly a long trip,
Right,
so
right.
it's a different police
Yeah.
department. So
Okay.
if they knew about the murders, they might not know until now. But
But it couldn't have
that's the
been
only
that
thing I got.
far. Okay.
yeah,
Maybe
that
4
makes
hours.
sense
I
to
guess
me.
we don't know where the
because-
asylum was then.
Yeah.
Well, what?
Either
So
way.
then she gets
Well,
the
the
call about
asylum's
it.
up by the lodge because that's
Right.
because that's where the
Obviously.
inmates
Oh,
are,
yeah.
right?
Right.
And which was I guess like 4. I think it's like it'd be
It
4
just
or 5
feels
hour
like
drive
the
because they said we've been
Police
driving
could
for
connect
hours.
the
Yeah.
dots.
That's the thing too. We don't really know where the girls were from. They could have been from like northern England.
Yeah, and just drove
and just drove into Scotland.
Yeah,
So
yeah, and that's what I think is what it was.
So if they're back in London, if Ryan drives her back to London, then
which or just
or England,
or
I mean
northern England,
Northern England,
Yeah.
then that's There's a
Got
lot of geography that went with this movie, guys.
So, they're basically Emma was picked up from Mars. Like, oh, a girl. We thought it'd be nope, it was her. Like, and they're like, oh, okay.
Her prints were everywhere.
Yeah.
It's her. She's the killer.
So she goes to tell Detective Holden, or AKA Detective Badass, the news, and he's surprised at first that it was a her and not him because she's thinking it's Simon.
Right.
That got arrested. He's like, but then he's like, okay. They just don't give a fuck. Like, okay, someone's arrested. Fine, I don't have to worry
Well,
about it.
he thinks about it for a second. He's like, oh,
Okay.
Oh, it's not her?
Yeah,
Or
fuck
it's not him?
justice
It
and
was a-
getting
it
the
was a
right
female?
person. Who cares?
It's Christmas.
So he sends the girl home, pulls out some whiskey from his desk, and starts to drink. Simon enters the office covered in blood, holding an axe. Now, I have a major fucking problem with this because we just saw him get basically hacked to bits with a fucking axe. But
And
here
they
he
do-
is walking into a store.
They do show like obvious axe wounds, I guess, on his body. But if she hit, I mean, she's what, maybe 120 pounds soaking wet.
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe she didn't hit him that hard.
I still call
I
bullshit.
still have
I
a
do
hard
too.
time
I would say
believing.
maybe
I agree.
with one axe,
I
maybe
agree.
one. But she
I
hit like
agree.
5 or 6 times, and he's
Yeah.
on the floor, so it's the gravity, downward
Yeah,
motion.
I agree.
This guy would be packed to bits.
I'm just trying to figure it out too.
Well, they
Yeah,
did
I don't
say in the
know.
description of this movie that they or on Facebook or something, that they take a lot of their inspiration from Friday the 13th and Michael Myers and, some of those other classic movies, I guess, in the 80s, and that's kind of what they were trying to coin this as. So they're trying.
I understand if
think,
they're trying to go for an 80s slasher, right?
Yeah.
But that's what I'm thinking. But at the same time, to me, it's still called bullshit because
Again.
Michael and Freddy and
Right.
Jason are all established that they have some kind of supernatural origin behind it. This guy just some random crazy guy
Yeah.
with really no backstory.
Yeah,
whatsoever.
I agree
exactly.
with
If
that,
they wanted
but-
to make it good, then give us a little backstory
Yeah.
on this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is Christmas so fucking
Maybe
bad
that's-
for him?
Yeah, they
maybe
could
that'll
like
be
this.
Christmas Sleigh too.
Yeah.
Don't even, Sarah. Stop right
So,
now. Stop.
so again, Detective Holden, who's supposed to be a badass cop,
Right.
Uh-huh.
just fucking stands there looking at him.
Lets him charge him.
Doing nothing. Just a shitty ass cop just stands there with the guy covered in wounds and covered in blood, holding an axe, looks at him, does nothing.
that's-
Simon kind of closes the gap, kills him. You don't really see it. Roll credits.
That's it.
Now, at the end of the credits, there's a blooper scene, which isn't even worth talking about.
Nope.
It's pathetic.
Not at all.
Um,
Not at all.
good God. So that is Christmas Sleigh. So it's fucking awful. But let's go into let's go into favorite kills.
There can be only one. Favorite kill.
All right.
Okay. They're all bad in this one, but we have to pick one. No matter, it's basically picking the least shitty of the shittiest in the movies. So let's go, ladies first. Sarah,
Thank you.
what's your favorite?
Well, okay, so I would have to say that if Simon would have actually died, that would have been my favorite kill, because not only did it include her jumping out of the hot tub and coming down all ninja style into him, she also then went apeshit.
Yeah.
Effed him up with an axe.
Mm-hmm.
However, he didn't die.
Right.
So I don't think I can call that my favorite kill.
Right.
I think my favorite kill is going to be, I think it's going to be Sarah. I think it's going to be Sarah.
Okay.
I really enjoyed that, and then I also
The
because
candy cane. The candy
the
cane
candy
to the skull.
to
right?
the skull, which is absolutely impossible,
Mm-hmm.
and the crazy, terrible blood spurting out
Mm-hmm.
at the end that made it probably the best. I think bleeding on her before he killed her only made it better. So.
All right. Sarah, we got one for Sarah. Chris, what's yours?
I think I'm gonna go just short and sweet here with the John when the Santa character throws the axe and like hits him in the back. That was kind of cool.
His body
Yeah, it was kind of
Yeah.
cool because he just like Simon just like swings his axe. Yeah, sides arms it, and then like hits the guy right in the back. I mean, they all sucked, honestly. I'm
Which,
sorry.
now that I think about it, they didn't even do that right. I mean, I get what you're saying. It's kind of cool.
right.
But like, if he's throwing that thing sidearm, it would have been spinning sideways. But when it goes into the back, it was
It's
like
up and
it's
down.
vertical.
It's up and
They
down.
fuck that up.
I know. Come on.
That
Hey.
is a good kill, though. That is a good. I
thought it
mean,
was
that's a
cool.
good one. Yeah.
My favorite kill, I agree with Sarah. I go with Sarah and Sarah. So
Sarah's, you can't go wrong.
I like for pretty much everything Sarah said. The fact that he bleeds on her before, to me, it's just the one thing in this movie that was kind of creepy and cool.
Yeah.
Not the fact that he killed her with a fucking candy cane, but
No.
I like the fact that he's bleeding on her. And my favorite part is that he kills her while looking Emma right in the face.
Yeah.
And he's like, just like, this
He's
girl means
very
nothing to you. I'm
psychotic.
coming for you. Nick.
Right.
Just watch me. Like, it's almost like orgasmic game or something. He's like, look at me while I finish her off or something. Like, to me, that was the coolest part. That's the only reason I picked that kill was because for that. So that's that. That's favorite kills. Moving on to odds and ends.
Not only did they watch these films, they researched them too. Ugh, what is wrong with these guys?
All right. Now, this is going to be really short because there was barely anything to find on this movie. Ratings-wise, IMDb gives it a 3.5 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes, not even on the site yet.
Nice.
It's not, because again, it just got December 10th. It was released in America, so it's not even on there yet.
What about Amazon, though?
Fucking Amazon.
Yeah.
Every time. Anybody want to take a guess what Amazon review was?
I was trying to remember. I couldn't. No.
I think, didn't they give it like 2.5?
it-
3 stars.
3 stars.
3 out of 5.
Amazon, seriously, folks. Let's get this shit together.
I know.
They just
It's
want you to
good.
watch their movies.
I
They're
think
like,
that's
come
exactly-
on,
it's gotta
it's
be.
not that
Everything's free
bad.
stuff.
You could watch it. You could rent it for $3.99 or whatever it was, $2.99.
I think it was like $3 for a week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't a 24 hour. It was like a week-long rental
Yeah.
or something like that. So normally we do plot keywords here, but again, there are none.
None.
No plot keywords for this movie.
I could do one.
We could make-
hashtag terrible British accents.
But it's not doing British actually because they're actually British.
I understand.
But
But it
Christians
was
can't
horrible.
Stand the British accent.
It's not that I can't stand the British accent.
Okay,
I
sorry,
am
that
fine
was
with
not
it.
right.
But like we talked about, it was almost impossible to understand what some of the dialogue was.
terrible
in this movie. It
movie.
was just fucking
The
drove me nuts. From
the
the jump.
quality, it was just the production.
One of the
quality was
first
terrible,
notes
too.
I have in accents are killing me. It's exactly what I wrote down, and that's at the top of the page.
Well, let's make it, since we have no
Chris
plot
seems
keywords.
angry.
Yeah.
This movie angers
pissed
him.
me off so bad.
do a little shot jack here.
Tired I've been. That's
Just need
maybe that's
to
the problem.
Breathe deep.
Well, let's play a little game.
You
We
maybe
have
need
no
some
plot
tea.
keywords.
Maybe you need
So
some
let's
tea.
go around the table and if you had to give this movie one plot keyword, what would your word be? Sarah, what would your one word be for this movie? Plot keyword.
Oh God. Oh man. I guess stab.
Stab?
Yeah, because
Okay.
that's
Superhuman Santa, because he has the ability to like stab people in the skull with no force.
Okay.
That's very thoughtful.
I'm going to go back to a word I used earlier in the podcast and just kind of use this as an umbrella word for the entire movie. I'm going to say butt fuckery. That's my plot keyword.
fuckery. I love
it. That's awesome.
Marshall likes the butt fuckery about this movie. Be careful.
She's been warming it up the
Oh,
whole
I
time.
have. See?
She's
Had
fine
to get
tuning
to
it.
the end.
Trivia
Needed a
again.
beer.
Nothing I could find on this movie.
Nope.
No background information. So that's not surprising, but it kind of sucks. Moving on, we do get to play the budget game.
Oh shit.
Oh.
It's now time to play everyone's favourite game. Guess the budget.
So
Suck at this game.
now I will put in there's a little caveat to this episode, this version or
wonder if
today's
we
game. Remember, this is British,
Yeah.
so it is not in U.S. dollars. The budget is in pounds.
I was going to ask
So
that.
I
was
hope you
gonna
know
say,
what your conversion
is
rate
it in
is.
pounds
Pounds?
or is it in euros?
Euros.
Okay, well,
Because the current.
okay, it is. I'm gonna show my ignorance here, but maybe the symbol it looks like the little kind of like an E.
That's a euro.
That's a euro.
Is it euro? I don't know what the
Yeah.
symbol for pound is off the top of my head. So
I thought that it was all euro. over
Yeah,
there.
it's like the universal currency in
I don't know. It
European.
looks
Europe.
something like that.
It's euros.
Okay.
I was going to ask you if it wasn't if we had to guess because I don't know what the
Well,
conversion
the difference
rate is. It's actually
it's like a couple $100, isn't it?
it's
Like,
higher there than it is here. So whatever it is,
no. Well, if it costs
man,
you like
it's gonna be-
600 euros,
Mhm.
it's gonna be like $800 US.
I think it's opposite of that.
This is the the economy section of the show.
I know, right? Now that we show our intelligence, we're not European travelers. people.
Yeah, sorry, folks.
All right, so we have to. Do we have to choose in euros or do we have to choose in American dollars?
You have to go with euros because that's what the number I have.
Okay, well,
okay.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what this is like. We'll do a euros, and then maybe we'll come back and we'll do American dollars and just see what.
Damn it, Aaron! Weren't you just in Europe like last year?
2 years ago. Yeah, he was in Amsterdam and London and Ireland.
Either way.
So, all right, Sarah.
Okay, so I think that the conversion rate is higher there. That we're like 10% lower. So I'm gonna say if it's euros, I'm gonna say in American dollars. I think it was. Not that much.
Chris is pulling out his cell phone. I think it's going to look up conversion rate.
I was actually going to.
15,000 euros.
15,000 euros for Sarah.
Because I don't think it costs very much money. I don't think.
Well, I want to talk about it for a second. Because obviously, they rented a ski lodge in the summer. And then, you know what I'm saying?
Spring,
and then
yes.
put up some Christmas lights.
Oh, it's totally
and
filmed
pretended...
like spring or something. Because the entire time, with the exception of like one or two scenes, even though you never see like, their breath.
Right.
Or, I mean, you can tell it's totally it's bright
There's no
and sunny.
there's no CGI, so there's like no
Yeah.
digitization as far as like any kind of special effects.
Yeah, they went
go.
all practical for the blood and the effects.
The lighting was not that great. They did not have. You could tell that they had semi-professional equipment that did not have like a lot of stabilizers because there was a lot of shakiness.
A lot of shaking, yeah.
I'm gonna stick with my.
All right, 15,000
Hold
euros.
on a second. I'm sorry. Let me real quick. Conversions: U.S. dollars to euros. $1 equals 0.9202 euros.
So nearly the same, almost.
Pretty close.
Pretty close.
Either way, I think it was a low budget.
I'm gonna
This is
stick with it.
15,000
Then I'm gonna
euros,
stick with-
$15,000.
I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna stick with it. 'Cause it was
I'm
crap.
gonna say that this was $30,000 US dollars.
$30,000. The winner of today's budget game and the winner of this nice bottle of Coors Light goes to Sarah.
Ooh.
Oh my god! I'm so shocked.
Estimated budget 20,000 euros, or or if we're gonna do dollars, which is she was closer.
It's
She was 5,000 off.
roughly
Chris was
the same.
10,000.
Well, Bulb's your uncle.
Bob's your uncle.
Sorry for anybody I just offended. Sorry. Oh, I just opened this. Like, oh, I'm gonna drink it. I guess I'm drinking it.
Well,
Thank you all.
Yay!
Yay! It never happens.
So, all right, moving on to 5-star reviews.
These special movies have a place in these special people's hearts. 5-star reviews.
Believe it or not,
That is warm.
there was a 5-star
Oh,
review.
you gotta be kidding me. Are you
Only
serious?
one.
Yes,
God.
thank God.
Oh god.
There were, I forget on Amazon, there's only like, I had it written down, I guess I didn't say, but it was like 5 reviews total for this movie on Amazon. One being a 5-star review from a random anonymous customer. It simply says,
Anonymous, that's very smart of him.
just says, it
'Cause
was
I would
just
track that fucker down.
a customer. And just simply says, loved it, 5 stars.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay.
Now, because that's not fun, I went to the next I looked at one. There were actually no 1-star reviews, which blew my mind.
Really?
The next were 2-star reviews.
Wow.
And there were 2 of those that I figured were worth reading
Mentioning.
because someone touched on exactly what we said too. So from KB, it must be an efficient heater because in a situation where any sane person would be wearing sweats or flannel jammies, these women are running around in tanks and teeny shorts. Wow, it must be 80 degrees inside that cabin, even though they only have a stove for heat and it's all icy outside, which is wrong because there's no snow. or
Yes,
ice anywhere.
exactly.
Yes, it does tell you everything you need to know about this movie. Hope there will be able to get the red corn syrup out of the rental Santa suit. 2 stars. And from William J. Ingram, Lordy, was this terrible. The actors were bad and the writing was even worse. It looked like zombies just walking. They looked like zombies just walking through their parts. 2 stars.
2 stars.
So,
Agreed.
Wow.
so that's it. That's Christmas Sleigh. Final recommendation. So bad's good. So bad scary. I don't think there's gonna be any surprise here.
No.
But Sarah, go ahead.
Oh, so bad it's scary.
So, Chris.
Well, obviously, if you guys haven't noticed that this movie completely pissed me off.
It angered him.
Like, I was, just pissed both times. Both times.
We watched it twice.
I watched it twice too.
Dedication.
So yes,
That's
so bad it's
dedication,
scary.
everyone.
Yeah, clean sweep, no question about it. So bad it's scary. Do not watch this movie. Just pass over it.
You should thank us for watching this.
That's
for
what we
you,
do.
because
That's
it
our
was-
public service to you.
That's true.
I expect my Christmas present in the mail, please.
I can't feel bad because I don't,
Small donation.
yes, it was bad. It was awful. But at the same time, I do want to, I do give the people who made this movie some
Yeah.
respect for at least they made the movie. They did what they wanted to do. They tried their best, we assume. So,
Yeah.
all
that's your
independent movie
best.
filmmakers, keep doing what you do what you love. But this movie is,
Exactly.
do not watch this one.
Again, if that's the best you can do, then find
maybe it
something
didn't-
else.
Well, everybody starts somewhere, I'm
know,
sure Steven
yeah.
Spielberg's first movie wasn't great. The first thing he ever shot, who knows?
I'm
Maybe
not
it was
sure.
lost on us because it was, we're not
British.
British. We're not from Great Britain.
Well,
and
I don't know.
sometimes-
It's supposed to be an 80s slasher.
I know, it's not
those
really-
are kind of hard to lose in translation. They're kind of
Yeah.
all the same.
I agree.
They could have cut down the blah blah, and just made the killing, and it would have been
Yeah.
okay.
So, yeah, pass on Christmas Sleigh. There's other things
Don't do
out
it.
there to do.
Like anything.
So we're going to wrap it up. I do want to say another big thank you to Chris and Sarah for joining us, as always.
Absolutely.
It's always a
Thank
pleasure to have you
you.
guys on the show.
It's always a good time.
I appreciate that. We have so much fun doing it with you guys. But for all you listeners out there, remember, follow us on Facebook. Check out our website, horriblehorrorpodcast.com. We're on Twitter at So Bad It's Scary. You can download and listen to the podcast also on Podbean, which is horriblehorror.podbean.com. And you can download us, subscribe to us, check us out, rate us, admire us, do all that good stuff on iTunes as well. And that's probably going to do it for us. Next week, we will be back with our Christmas episode. The day after Christmas, we will be recording that. So come back for that. Everybody have a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and we're out.
Peace.
Cheers.